Welcome to the Shed Interview. This week, our guest is Jon Francis.
aka John, the real estate Don.
Okay, Jon, thank you for coming on with us.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Yeah.
my brother. Thank you for having me, my brother.
This week, we want to talk a little bit about your backstory, your journey of walking up the hill on feathers.
Well, walking up the hill on feathers is not easy. It's slippery slope. I mean, it's tough sledding and getting to where we are and where you are right now is it takes some time. It takes a lot of time. So I'm just happy to be here today.
So, you, Jon, was real estate your first choice for a career?
Actually, real estate not necessarily my first choice. I've always been in sales. Started at retail sales were very common, and then worked my way gradually into the automotive sales career.
Nice. Okay.
Did that, and then one thing leads to another, and I'm now in real estate, and it's been a great leap for me. Great leap.
Okay. So, it's only fair for us to let the people know that we met at a dealership selling cars together.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely. On the dance floor, that, on the dance floor.
Of course, sales is definitely in our blood. How long did you sell cars for?
I sold cars. I want to say about five years or so. Between dealerships, of course. I know me and you met. We were at Honda.
Honda, yeah.
We met at the Honda dealership, so that was awesome. And I know we made a lot of money there together too, so can't complain. But yeah, Honda, and then worked my way up to Mercedes Benz, and then after the Mercedes Benz dealership, I went ahead. That was actually right before the pandemic hit. I went ahead right before right before the pandemic hit. I went ahead and entered into real estate school. Passed the coursework. And then over the pandemic, once the testing was allowed again legally by New York State law, I went ahead, took my real estate test, and the rest is history.
Congrats, my brother.
Thank you.
What was the transition like, though, moving from one industry to the other?
I won't say it was tough, but I will say it was. It's a learning curve. It's a big learning curve. You go from dealing with people, walking in the dealership, walking in the door consistently, to kind of being, your own salesman. I mean, I could relate it to a lot of things, you know what I'm saying, but having to sell your own product, you know what I'm saying, is kind of the way I would put it.
Right.
You going from having somebody assist you in that sale or just providing you the product.
Inventory.
Absolutely. Inventory with the cars versus having to go out and acquire your own inventory, acquire your own product to sell and put back on the market.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's fair. So once you decided to switch careers and you got into real estate, you stick with real estate, do you feel like every time you try to make a plan in life, just throw your curveball or?
Well, to be honest, yes, that is real estate for you. It is, you're gonna have a plan yourself, but you gotta follow God's plan. So, and that's just how I like to think about business. I'm super spiritual, and I take every deal as it comes, and every client as they may be. And go from there and make the best of it in regards to business. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Absolutely.
What are some of the similarities within the auto industry and real estate?
Similarities, I could say the paychecks. I can tell you right now.
That's what we all work for most of the time.
Absolutely. Right? But other than that, it's a dog eat dog world. It's very competitive. You definitely have to have a strong will. You got to be willing to make your mark. And
when you say make your mark, what does that mean? Because the way I look at it, the way I remember it when I was selling cars, we used to get a goal, sell say 10 cars for the month, get a gross of maybe 20,000. When you see that mark, how is that? How does that apply to real estate?
How it applies to real estate is you set your own financial goals. There's always aspiration to do better and do more, but I always say myself, I look at it like this: there's 12 months in a year. If I can do 24 deals, if I can do 2 deals a month, that's 24 deals a year. On average, that should make you a pretty nice penny. You know what I'm saying? So that's the goal, and then also it's networking. The real goal is to grow your network. Your network is your net worth, so that's the real goal. It's about not what you know, but who you know.
That's good. That's good. So well, again, just sticking to the car industry real quick. While selling cars, right? We were say not tied down, but we were at just one dealership. In the real estate world, are you tied down to one region, to one location?
Okay. So how that works is right now I'm with the company Howard Hanna Ram Realty up in Goshen, New York. You can find me. That's a plug. So I am devoted to my brokerage firm, but I am a New York State licensed realtor. I can travel through any county, any region of New York State, as long as there's real estate available to sell or for someone to buy. I can do it because my license kind of encapsulates me throughout the entire state. So I'm not limited to any one region. Absolutely.
So you already covered my next question, which would have been, are you licensed in certain years? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Licensed, like I said, through entire New York State. I do outbound, or how do you say, outbound referrals to other states, just based on my company's network and reach. So absolutely, I'm able to help people in many different places.
Okay. How do you accept rejection? Sales is really tough.
Yeah. Well, seeing as how we started in car sales, you get some tough skin. You get some tough skin with the amount of no's you might get at the front desk and at the table with your clients in regards to purchasing. But I handle rejection with a smile. I handle rejection with a reassurance of, if ever it is you do need me, we had a great informative session.
Right.
Please do reach out to me. And we can go from there in regards to that. You know what I'm saying? In regards to rejection. So
we're gonna put all the links to your connection and social media in the links. So look out for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. What gives you that get up and go feeling in the morning? Like, let's get it today.
Yeah.
When you get up in the morning.
Well, to quote one of my favorite motivational speakers, Dr. Eric Thomas. I wake up every morning and I just remind myself, know your why. And with that being said, my why is my family, my wife, my daughter, my son, and wanting to grow not only generational wealth, but an entrepreneurial independence in regards to the Black and brown community, and especially my household, especially my family. Absolutely.
That's great.
Absolutely.
That's very strong. I like that.
Absolutely.
What advice do you have for young couples looking for a house?
All right, young couples looking for a house. I got a lot of advice. First of all, I just want to say to all people, but especially to the Black and brown community, credit. Credit is very important. There's certain conversations in our family and households that are not had over dinner or had at Thanksgiving or had over Christmas conversations, and I could say that having build your credit early on in life. Having relationships with banks, anything from any type of federal banks or municipal banks, being able to build your credit in that regard is huge. And savings.
I know this starts from young,
yes,
educating the younger generation.
Absolutely. I've seen as how financial literacy is at an all-time high right now, just throughout this country. With our recent economic kind of collapse, during the pandemic, and then a slight boom. And as you see now, it's turning a little bit back down. So financial literacy is important.
Back down, interest rates are going down.
Well, not interest rates. What I mean is the cyclical nature of real estate.
Okay.
In conjunction with stocks. So normally when stocks are high, real estate might be low, or real estate is high, stocks might be low.
Okay.
So financial literacy and understanding that these markets go hand in hand is very, very key. So what I would say is you will make money faster by investing it versus trying to save your dollar penny for penny. You know what I'm saying? So if you got an opportunity to make an investment in some sort of stock, some sort of IPO action, go ahead, take the opportunity. I won't say take the risk, but take the opportunity to allow your money to grow more money. That's something that's key. So credit, having a keen understanding of financial literacy, and being able to invest in markets that will drive your money, to increase in value. That's huge. That's huge.
Do you find it hard to meet the demands of your clients in terms of what they need in their first home?
Sometimes when you got first time homeowners or first time home, buyers, they're always shooting for the moon, and hopefully we land on the stars somewhere. But I actually specialize in FHA or first time homeowners association buys, and I also specialize in VA. So that's definitely something I have a lot of knowledge of. And when it comes to that, you can definitely come to me. I can let you know which parameter of how do you say credit encapsulation you fall in, whether you be an FHA buyer, conventional buyer, or a VA buyer. There are particular credit score limits that get you approved for a particular loan. So absolutely. Absolutely.
That's pretty clear. Describe for us or explain what location means.
Well, location. Once you get into looking to buy a house, there's a few key factors you want to always consider. Not only do you want to consider the amount of money you're willing to spend, you have to consider the budgeting aspect, everything from, so there's four major points to a mortgage. We know it in the industry as PITI. So there's principal, there's interest, there's taxes, and there's insurance.
Okay.
So understanding those four principles help you create a better budget for your home purchase. And then lastly but not least, you want to consider your yearly taxes on that piece of property.
Right.
Because you get to pay the taxes yearly, but if you can't afford $25,000 in taxes, it's not going to work, and don't be going to look for no $1 million house. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely important.
Tied in the location in terms of how much you pay in taxes.
Absolutely.
In certain areas.
Absolutely. So that's where the whole location comes in, because certain counties in New York require a higher tax bracket, just not only to live in but to afford. So that's key in regards to which location you choose to call your home.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And school districts and so on.
School districts are super important. Myself, like I said, I work up in Orange County. We have a lot of great school districts. I'm very familiar with Rockland County, Sullivan County, Dutchess County. There's a lot of great school districts in the area. And just based on the amount of funding that a lot of these towns and counties do receive for educational purposes, definitely consider that in your move, especially like you said, when you're a young family and you got young kids, or just you're looking to raise a family. Maybe you don't have any kids, so you're looking to have some.
Research is key. Research is key.
Absolutely. And not only that, not only is research key, get a professional. I'm a professional, he's a professional, but get you a professional real estate agent versus having to go through the whole, song and dance while trying to find out what's right for you on your home.
So that leads to my next question. What is the difference between a real estate agent and a broker? Well, if you don't mind.
Yeah, the difference between a real estate agent and a broker is an agent. We work at the brokerage firm, and the broker is pretty much the office manager. Okay. So we work under the broker's tutelage.
Okay.
And that's normally the number one main difference. Now, I can tell you this as well. Your first 2 years in real estate, you're normally going to be a real estate agent. After you go ahead and renew your license after the first 2 years, you can go ahead and apply for your associate broker's license. And there's no necessarily, a test needed for that, but you do need to have continued education courses and classes and accreditations.
Okay.
So you can get your associate broker, where you can kind of learn what it would take to run your own brokerage firm in the event you wanted to do that after you got your feet wet and you built up your book of business in the game.
That's great.
Absolutely.
I'm really glad you're here shedding some light for this.
Absolutely.
What does the current trend look like? COVID gave us a really bad scare.
Yes.
What does the trend look like in the future?
Well, in regards to market sales and acquisitions, the COVID era was an amazing era for real estate agents. I can tell you that right now.
That will happen again.
Yeah. God willing, it never happens again. But in regards of the amount of property purchased and sold and the dollar amount, it was astronomically through the roof based on the fact there were very, very low interest rates, versus the interest rates we have now. But in comparison to maybe a 6.75 to almost 7.15 interest rate now, I can tell you 15 years ago, 20 years ago, my mother, your mother, our parents pretty much, their interest rate was anywhere between 12 to 18%.
Yeah.
So it's incredibly low still. I don't want anybody to fear what's going on in the market. Like you said, the trend is going to be on the up and up, to be quite frank and quite honest. The government is beginning to regulate the rates a bit. And we're in a market right now that is a seller's market. Okay. If you own a home and you are looking to sell, this is the best time to sell your house, seeing as how rates are being heavily regulated. And there is a really, really, how do you say, there's a big scrutiny, or pretty much just in regards to being approved for a mortgage right now, there's a lot of requirements. So anybody who has been or is approved in regards to mortgage, they have been through the ringer in regards to getting their mortgage approved. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
So there's nothing to fear there. Exactly. There's nothing to fear there. Anybody with a current mortgage, it has been approved, it has been vetted properly by the banks and the lenders themselves. So it's definitely a seller's market right now. Okay. Absolutely.
With all the different happenings and politics in New York, do you find that there's a lot of people moving out of New York? There's a lot of people coming into New York seeking new homes.
So in regards to that, I can give you some actual statistics on that one. In the years between 2021 and 2022, so in between that how do you say that, four quarterly markets, financial market era, between 2021 and 2022, New York State was number 3 on the list of folks moving out of the state. Right. So it was a booming seller's market and continues to be so. Now, with folks moving out of the state, that means people have to actually come in and occupy those homes. Right. So I wouldn't say it's even, but I would say there are a lot of people coming into New York. And what I mean by that is you're getting a lot of buyers from folks coming from the Midwest to New York City, or folks that are coming from literally the West Coast to the East Coast, because it's just that much cheaper than living out on the West Coast. So it's a huge influx. I'm getting a lot of buyers myself from the Midwest, from the West Coast, that's coming here and actually purchasing acres upon acres of land, especially in our region.
So who's dominating the market now? First-time buyers, people who are grading, people who retire and are downsizing.
So in regards to that right now, I would say it's going to be new professionals in regards to a lot of big tech companies. And
hold on, you said tech companies, you're talking about corporations buying homes and
well, not only that, I'm talking about corporations bringing in employees to, seeing as how the pandemic kind of got people out of the workforce. A lot of big companies are bringing people in, and a lot of the incentive to come is they'll give you a down payment on a house, or they'll pay your taxes for the first 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of incentive from big companies, for folks moving in. And then I'm also myself, I work personally with a lot of artists and models and other entrepreneurs themselves. So a lot of Black business owners. Like I said, a few musicians. I work with some actually top models in the model industry. So you're getting a lot of entrepreneurship. And I get a lot of entrepreneurs actually spending their own money. And first-time homeowners, there's still an influx from the New York City area. Like I said, myself, yourself, you live up in the county, see that there's a huge influx of folks coming from the New Jersey area, New York area, and even some folks were coming from the Connecticut area, just because, like I said, it's just a little bit cheaper to live here than it might be in some of those more affluent states.
What is the typical time frame from between listing to closing?
It can be a while. I'm going to be honest. From the time you list to the time you get inspection on the house, from the time the appraisal is done, to all the way to closing, on average in New York State, it takes anywhere from about, I want to say 3 to 6 months to close on a deal. Absolutely.
And once you're done, it's done in the right and proper way, pretty much.
Absolutely. So here in New York, unlike a lot of other states, I know in California,
I'm sorry. When you're done, just go ahead and explain the process for
me. Absolutely. So just like I said, here in comparison to a few other states like Florida, the Californias, some of the more loosely regulated states,
Okay.
you can close on a house anywhere between 7 days to 21 days.
Really?
Absolutely. But here in New York, because everything has to be properly vetted, the lenders are heavily involved, the appraisers of the homes are heavily involved, and the attorneys are heavily involved in regards to making sure every contract is finite in detail. It takes some time to close on a deal here.
And that's the seller's attorney and the buyer's attorney, right?
Absolutely. So you always have different attorneys for both parties, the seller's attorney, the buyer's attorney. And normally myself, when it comes to that, I also have a Rolodex of attorneys and just people I can suggest for the client, so they're not out there, seeking and finding the wrong person.
Right. And that will also delay the closing process.
Absolutely. You never want that.
If you don't have a real estate lawyer who pretty much knows what they're doing.
Well, more importantly, not only a real estate lawyer who knows what they're doing, you want a real estate lawyer that's in the area where you're looking to purchase or buy. Based on the fact they have huge relationships with not only the towns or the cities, they have huge relationships with the municipalities. So in regards to acquiring a lot of documentation and tax records, if you have somebody that's in your area, they got great relationships, it can be expedited. This process can be expedited exponentially.
This has been refreshing. This has been very refreshing. Jon, hey, again, I appreciate you coming in.
Of course.
Explaining to us the entire steps in purchasing a home.
Absolutely.
Again, I'd definitely like to have you back in.
Of course, yes. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's a pleasure being here and just having a great personal relationship. I'm looking forward to helping you and getting your big dream home when you're ready. You know what I'm talking about? That nice word. That nice
I appreciate
word.
that. I'll definitely be contacting you when I'm ready.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it,
sir.
Absolutely.
Jon the Real Estate Don.
Yes, Jon the Real Estate Don.
On the show.
Hey, I'd like to shout out the Shed, man. My boy Kenrick here. Great establishment. Great community building here. And definitely look out for him and the Shed just on the rise. I mean, this thing is going to be huge, and I'm looking forward to seeing how far you take this thing, my brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Shout out to Shed, man. Shout out to Shed. Look, if you want to be on here, you need to get in contact with your boy, man. Get your interviews right. So absolutely. In regards to contacting me, I'm very big on social media. You can contact me at Jon, which is JON _ the real estate _ Don. That's on all my social media handles, my Instagram, my Facebook, my TikTok. You can find me on Realtor, social media spaces like Homesnap, Realtor.com. You can Google me. You can find me on Google at Jon Francis. I have a bunch of great Google reviews. You can Google me according to my Google business page. I'm not hard to find, man. I'm out here.